Hey guys, happy Friday. I just wanted to get on here real quick and give you the latest update on my hip. I just got back from Ohio from an all-day trip to see the specialist up there. And I was kind of expecting them to say, we don't know what's wrong with you, because they haven't known what's wrong with me in 8 months. So I was fully prepared for that. And I wanted to be taken off of my NSAIDs because obviously they're not working. So I was prepared to basically not go back because what can you do for me? You know what I mean? Well, when they come into the room and start out the conversation by saying, I've seen a lot of complicated cases, but you take the cake. That pretty much tells you brace yourself. And that's what I needed to do. So basically, to make a long story short, the reason I had my first surgery was because I had extra bone rubbing on each other, doing this number. So we went in and shaved it so that it would smoothly not grind on each other. I also had a labral tear, and we fixed it. Then the second surgery, they cleared out scar tissue. They shaved more bone. They cleaned out infection. A couple other things that I can't really remember right now. Anyways, I've still not gotten better. I've been on the NSAIDs this entire time. I've tried 3 or 4 different kinds. Still swelling. Still having pain. Still can't walk without the walker outside. And inside I do if I feel stable because I can be near the walls and stuff. But outside, it's pretty terrifying because even something as small as a rock can take you down. And if I go down, it's much worse than using the walker. Do I want to use a walker? No. I'm 31. There is no part of me inside that is cool with that. But I don't really have very many options. Last time he told me that it was bad for my mental status to keep using the walker. And he wanted me to get off of it pretty much immediately. This was 3 months ago. Well, I didn't because I haven't felt safe. So I was prepared also for a lecture about why do you still have that. It was exactly the opposite. In fact, today he said that he's almost glad that I didn't get rid of it because the state that my hip is in right now, it would be basically the end of the game if I fell. So he would rather me keep that almost as a security blanket, not lean on it so that my muscles aren't having to work at all, but just in case type of measure, which is where my head has been the whole time. But, he showed me the 3 Tesla MRI, which is the one that's a lot more advanced that I had to go 4 hours to get. And the radiology report was kind of vague, so I knew that there was something going on, but not exactly what. So he went over the actual images with me, step by step. And I have even more bone on bone. And he says that, he thinks that it was probably missed, but my likely guess is it has grown back. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but I feel like with all the tests that I've had and 2 surgeries, it would be very difficult to miss that amount of bone. Again, I could be wrong. I have fluid inside of my bones. Where the bone marrow should be, there's fluid. So that's making my bones weaker. the cartilage on the top of the ball of your femur and on the socket. Mine suck. Basically, it's almost all gone because mainly of Marfan's. You know, if anybody ever questioned me having Marfan's, all you gotta do is call this doctor and he would give you a nice long lecture. My capsule has loosened up again. I have a re-tear of the labrum, so he thinks probably I just never healed, which could be why I did okay until 8 weeks, and then at 8 weeks I went face first into a brick wall, basically. So that could be why, you know, it retore. Or it could be that the bone regrew. Or could be that no one has any idea why. So he, of course, told me, you know, I'm definitely a complicated case. He would have liked to gone in and done what's called a micro fissure. Maybe. I don't know. Micro something. So, anyways, I'm not even a candidate for that because of all that's going on. I have swelling still, even with taking NSAIDs every single day for 8 months. The tissues that are there, known as my labrum, there's basically holes. I have tendinitis, probably a couple different places, but definitely in the back, the gluteal. I have bursitis, extremely bad. He said it was something like wild raging bursitis or something like that. So that attributes to my pain on the outside of my hip, the lateral. So, I mean, I honestly wasn't expecting that type of report. So I really forgot a lot of the things that I wanted to address because, I mean, basically all I could do was stare at him. I'm not doing any more PT because he says that what we've been doing has probably just made it worse. So all this time of people telling me to have someone else move my leg because I needed to get that range of motion has done more damage. So I'm not on bed rest, but I'm only supposed to do activities that I can tolerate per pain. And walking is the most difficult. He explained that by saying that all the bone on bone that I have, and your bone is chocked full of nerves, so I'm irritating the nerves with every single step. My options are, well, tentatively, my options are total hip replacement, which he doesn't recommend. You can only have a couple in your life. They take all of your parts. You still keep your capsule and things, but they take all of your parts. And the other option is resurfacing. Basically, it's a partial replacement. So in that, what they do is they kind of scrape off the top of the ball joint and the socket and replace it with metal. So instead of being bone on bone, it's metal on metal. That's basically another type of surgery to buy me time, which is what these last two were supposed to do, buy me time. I'm definitely going to have a full replacement at some point. He said that I could wait until I was comfortable with it, which I'm obviously in no mental space right now to make that decision. But he did give me the name and phone number of a guy in Cleveland, 4 hours away, that he says is the best in the nation as far as resurfacing, and he also does complete replacements. So even if I wanted to wait, that I needed to go ahead and become an established patient with him so that when the time comes and I do decide to go ahead and do it, that I can go ahead and jump into it because I'm already a patient. I haven't really processed all my feelings yet. And I think it was kind of just like a gut punch. I mean, I'd pretty much already decided they're not going in to do any type of other arthroscopies. So at some point I would need a hip replacement. Then I had come to terms with that, and that's fine, but I wasn't going to do that until I absolutely had to do it. He described my hip now as very, very, very bad and a huge, huge problem, and it's only going to get worse. The tear is going to get bigger. The bone on bone is going to get worse, creating more arthritis. But he said that it could be okay to try to keep all of my parts as long as possible and push the surgery out, because it's not guaranteed, you know. This last surgery was something like a 99% success rate. Obviously, I failed both times. This one would be 98. Well, if I failed at 99, in my head at this point, I'm thinking I would fail at 98. Probably I'm overthinking that, but it terrifies me completely. So I've got a lot of thinking to do, and that's even if I go see him. That's even if he would even entertain the idea of taking me as a surgery patient, because I've had MRSA, because I've had 2 failed arthroscopies, and because I'm 31. Even though he's supposed to be the best in the country, if it was me, I would run away as fast as I could. That's just not a good track record. And then, obviously, it depends on my insurance. My insurance absolutely loves to tell me no. And I discussed that with him, and I told him that, and he said, "Oh, no, it's no problem. I'll send over a referral." And I said, "Yeah, well, they keep telling me no with the referrals." "Okay, well, it's no problem. I'll write a letter." I've had that done as well, and they just tell me no. You know, even morphine. We don't have a morphine doctor in the state. So they still tell me no. So, you know, he said, "Well, okay, I'll fight for you." I don't really know that he anticipates the amount of fighting that it would take, because I've written appeals and all of this fun stuff, and I still haven't been to these doctors. So, yeah, he could get it done, but, you know, I tell all of you all the time to look on the bright side. But I also tell you that you need to take a day, or take a minute, take a week, whatever it is, to get it out, basically, to have your pity party. And as much as I absolutely know that it could be way worse, I could already be in a wheelchair, it still really, really sucks. So right now, I'm giving myself today to go ahead and have my pity party and get it over with and move on. It's not like I can go back and change the fact that I had surgery already and that I'm in this horrible position that I am in. I can't go back and change it. Obviously, I have 2 options that I'm terrified of. And, you know, if this one would fail too, I would have 1 option left that I couldn't have done for quite a while, because everything would have to heal again. So, all of your positive vibes and energy and prayers and whatever else you do, peace signs, I really don't care. I would love for you to send it my way. If you have advice, if you've been anywhere near my shoes, that would be helpful too.